Hello everyone, how are you doing? We're back, as you can see, as Alex says, a proper plane. We are in the Zibo 737 today. Really one of my favorite aircraft in the sim, and we don't fly it often enough. It's just a beautiful aircraft, and of course we're in the CUDA livery today as well. Say hello to all of you guys then. Hey Jesse, welcome. Thomas, welcome. You passed your exams. I've got some results back and so far so good, but still waiting on other results. Thank you very much. So yeah, we'll see what happens with those, but yeah, it's looking good so far. It's looking good. Hey Alex, welcome. It's been a while, my friend. How are you doing? Oh, we got Nightbot back. Hey Caleb, welcome. Let's see here. TSC 777, welcome. Happy Thursday. It's the weekend for you anyway. Well, have a great weekend. Vaughn, welcome. Yeah, there it is, Alex. Drish finally streams a proper plane. Could not miss this. Yeah, I saw Q8 on the Q8 stream last night. He was flying the Zibo, and I thought, you know what? It's been a while since we flew the Zibo, so let's go ahead and take that out. Hey, Oliver Foden, welcome. It's been a while. Thank you very much. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Roy, welcome. And yeah, a bit biased. I don't fly a Zibo. Look, my average landing rate with it is -600 feet per minute. I really like the Zibo. I love the way it flies. The flight model is just beautiful. As a so that Transavia 737 takes off. Yeah, I love the Zibo. Sneakily past a year. I can't believe it. Already 1 year. Well, thank you very much for your fantastic support, Alex, and of course as a moderator as well. I really do appreciate it. Also need to fly the Zibo a lot more, been ages. Yeah, it's such a beautiful aircraft, and with all these payware we tend to forget about the freeware. And yeah, this thing is just beautiful. It really is. Let's hop inside. Make sure you're landing flaps 30, not 40. Yeah, we rarely use flaps 40 only unless it's a really short runway, but most of the time it's 30. On a long runway you can use 25 as well, I believe. When are we getting a payware Eindhoven in X-Plane? It's annoying not having no good sceneries. Yeah, but I don't think we have a Eindhoven in X-Plane, or a decent one at least. I guess the default is pretty good. I can't complain about that. So we are here at where are we? We are at Dublin, and we're going to be flying the return sector from my Tuesday stream, and we're going to be heading back to Birmingham. So it's sort of a test flight today, purely because, as you know, on Tuesday we had some performance issues. Frames were not looking good at all, and there was stuttering and stuff. So I played around with some settings. on my streaming software. Hopefully it's a lot better now, but we'll see. I do hope this is looking better for you guys, and then once we have the settings down, you know, then we can start looking at all these products I've missed, and there's a lot of catching up to do. Looks cool in black. Yeah, it's dark gray, but it looks black in some lighting. I'm just gonna get the chat on my phone here real quick so I can use my second monitor for Navigraph. All right. Zibo is very realistic, and 737 is not easy plane to land, but practice makes perfect. Absolutely, Alex. Yeah, after I hadn't flown it in a few months, and then last week I've done some flights with it. So really nice to get used to it again. But yeah, if you've not flown it in a while, you might slam it, to be fair. But it's pretty good. Now flying C-42 is quite nice. Nice says, oh, very nice, fantastic. Hey, Sanjula, welcome. A339 stream when? Soon, Caleb. I was very tempted to do it today, but the A339 is a little bit VRAM heavy, and since we're doing sort of almost a test flight, I thought we'll fly something we know and love, the Zibo. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up Navigraph. And here it is, and let's take a look at our routing today. So we are here at Dublin. Like I said, we are at stand 316, I believe, at Pier 3, and we're going to be departing runway 10 right on the ND1 Echo departure out of Dublin, flying over the Irish Sea, sort of over Wales and close-ish to Liverpool, Stoke, and then down into Birmingham on the MP1 Bravo arrival for the ILS runway 15 into Birmingham. So that's our routing today then. As you can see, we are flying today. We're cruising at flight level 210, so not too high. Not too high at all. What aircraft do you fly at the moment, if you don't mind me asking? I'm currently, because you know, I'm doing my PPL training, private license training, so I'm in a Cessna 152 at the minute. Very small, very underpowered. The doors don't like to stay shut, the engine doesn't like to start. It's not in great shape, to be honest, but we all start somewhere, right? So let's all right, let's get the show on the road then. Let's go ahead and go to airside services and load OFP. I have it all pre-saved from SimBrief, and we should get loading fairly soon. So right, let's go battery on, emergency exit lights, wing wheel well, position to steady. And then let's get the GPU here. There it is. All right, and there it is. Beautiful. Recently struggled flaring the Zibo 100% plane floats like a flare around 20 feet. Yeah, it depends. 20 feet is usually okay, but as Alex says, if you're floating and your approach speed is too high, you need to get that airspeed bled off. So let's see here. Are they gonna start? There it goes. Alrighty. Oliver, yeah, absolutely. We have a few different Cessna 152s at our airfield, and yeah, they're all slightly different in their own regard. Right, so let's get these set to nav, and we now have everything going here. I'm not sure how to remove the stairs, although I'd use the jetway, but the stairs seem to persist no matter what I do. So I'm not sure. I think Alex would probably know how to remove those for when we are at a gate. Alright, so first things first, let's just get the panel lighting up a little bit. I always like to have some panel lighting in the 737. There it goes. And doop-a-doo, where is it? There it is. Panel lighting and FO's panel lighting. Brilliant. All right.
Ground to flight deck. Fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
All right, that was quick. How much fuel we needed? 5 is our block fuel, and we have exactly 5. Brilliant. So that didn't take too long. Let's go ahead and get the no smoking signs on, and that will trigger the passenger loading, I believe. We are cruising at flight level 210 today. And elevation at Birmingham is 339 feet, so 350 will work for us. Let's get this on ground power and bat. We have positive charge, brilliant. Alex, I was asking how we get rid of the stairs here, because they seem to persist. I have this ground services, but the stairs aren't activated right now. So yeah, I was wondering how to remove these so we can get a gate in and use a jetway. So, cargo is loading and the packs will load, I think, after the cargo. And let's go into the FMC. Positive, I have actually updated my nav data this time. EIDW. What gate did we say we're at? We said we're at gate. Let me just check Navigraph. 316 we're at. Which mod, Alex? This one. This is the newer one, isn't it? SGS from XP Javelin. It's still updated as far as I know, but the stairs isn't coming from here. That's the thing. As far as I know, the stairs aren't coming from here because these are unticked. But yeah, I guess I'll try removing this at some point and see if that makes a difference. But as far as I know, that has full Zibo compatibility. At least it says it does. So, let's go ahead and request a flight plan. Hey, Wanfro, welcome. And we'll load that. So if we take a look at there, let me just angle this. Ground services. I don't see anything in here. Obviously, it's not this air stairs. Yeah, this is the newer version of the mod, Alex. But yeah, I'm not sure what causes this stairs to be here. You know what? You could be right. It could be the this SGES ground services. I think I'll try removing. I wonder if. Oh, hello. Did that just appear, or was that me? Yeah, I don't know what this is doing. Yeah. But never mind. Alright, we'll use stairs. It's fine. So we'll activate this. And landed TFDI MD11 right now. One thing that it has better than rotate is ACAR's CPDLC. Maybe rotate can get that soon. Oh really? That's interesting. That's interesting. And let's request the performance as well. You should use GHD. I think that's the old version though. I'm using a new version. SGES it's called, from XP Javelin on the forums. Do you use SAM? If so, I think those are stairs from that. Maybe a scenery configuration that SAM is using. I don't have SAM. I have open SAM, but this happens at every airport, unfortunately. I'll have to do some playing around. Not a major issue. Yeah. Alright, so we'll load that, and reserves, our reserves are 2.3 today. So we'll put 2.3 in, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get our IFR clearance, but I do also want to get the APU going as well. So put it in the on position, wait for the EGT spike, and then we can hit start. There we are, low pressure. Beautiful. And right, so same tensions. Let's see, what is my, you can hear the APU going there. Let's see, let's listen to the ATIS. 124530. 124530. Put that in active.
Viewed -300 feet. Transition level 55. Arriving and departing runways 10 left, 10 right, 16 advise on course heading, altitude, and if basic information service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information golf.
So it's
Dublin
information
Airport.
golf.
Information golf. 1900 Zulu. Wind 130 at 8. Visibility 6. Sky conditions. View at 1800.
Just waiting for the Q&H.
Scattered at 6,000 feet. Broken at 2,000 feet. Temperature 11. Dew point 9er. QNH 1019er.
1019.
Altitude -300
Brilliant.
feet.
Alright. What network to use for ATC, as I have many hours on VATSIM, but I would love to have some ATC for my G airfield I'm learning at. There's never controllers on the network. Yeah, so that's the main issue I have with VATSIM is, you know, a lot of areas don't get coverage, especially long haul. You know, you won't get coverage for your entire flight. So I'm using Say Intentions, is of course payware subscription, but it's just fantastic. Ever since I started using it, I can't not use it, you know. So we're using that today. You get full coverage wherever in the world you are. You get the cabin crew, and all sorts of beautiful features with it as well. Announcements, all sorts, and a co-pilot as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not even using all the features. There's just so many. It's kind of like Navigraph in the sense where, sure, it's a subscription, and it is more on the slightly expensive side, but it's so worth it in my opinion. And it just works for IFR and VFR as well. So I use it, you know, when I'm doing some practice flying for my PPL training. I'll use it for VFR stuff, even if it's just circuits at my local airfield. Works brilliantly. And then of course for IFR stuff, it's very good as well. So yeah, that's what I'm using, and I really do like it. Hey, Captain Alex, welcome. Ask the co-pilot to tell you a joke. All right, let's do that. I think my co-pilot is set to 2-ton Murphy. So, hey, Murph, can you tell us a joke?
Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Why do scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. There we are. Yeah, it's really good. I really like it. So, that was information golf, wasn't it? And we're at stand 316. So let's go ahead and grab that IFR clearance. What's the frequency? So Dublin delivery is 122985. 122985. Get that in. Alright, so Dublin clearance, good evening, CUDA 818 at stand 316 with information golf on board. We are aircraft type Boeing 737-800 and requesting IFR clearance to Birmingham, please. Alright.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
Okay, so in the meantime, I have capped my FPS, by the way, so I've capped my FPS at 30 at the minute. And then using lossless to boost it to 90, and it's super smooth like that. Capping FPS. really helps with X-Plane, just stability, stutters, and also loss to scaling. It looks so much smoother with a nice stable capped FPS, in my opinion. Right, so waiting for our clearance.
Huda 818.
There it is.
Information Golf is current. Cleared to Birmingham via the End 1 Echo departure, then as filed. Departure runway 10 right. Initial climb to 7,000 feet. Departure on 119.555 squawk 1544.
Right. Clear to Birmingham via the ND1 Echo departure. Departure runway 10 right. Initial altitude 7,000 feet. Departure frequency 119.555 squawk 1544 CUDA 818. Brilliant. So, after I get my clearance, this is sort of my flow here. So,
read back correct. Contact ground on 130.79er.
right. Oh, I didn't catch that frequency. What was it? Ground on 130.79 CUDA 818. So, my flow is initial altitude was 7,000. So let's stick that in the MCP. I agree, Alex. Yes, I used the wrong word there. Not expensive. It's a lot of money, but not expensive. I think for what you pay, you get a huge amount of features, and it's very much worth it. So 119.555. I put this in the COM2 standby just so I have it as a sort of scratch pad. Come on, there it is. So 555. And then ground is it was 13079, wasn't it? So 13079 for ground. Oh, right. And tower frequency 118.6. So we'll get that in early. So we can just switch to that later on when we need to. And get all our comms set up here. Brilliant. Squawk then is 1544. So 5 1 4 4. So 1544 is set. Let's finish our FMC setup then, so we can go to departure arrival 10 right on the ND1 Echo. So we'll put that in, and then the arrival into Birmingham is the ILS-15. There it is, ILS-15 via the AMP-1 Bravo, and we have no transition. Or do we? No, we don't. Alright. So this will be just direct to there. Alright, and performance then. So, I have this all set up. So, I'm going to show you guys, and I'll move it back to my second monitor so I can, you know, input it all into the FMC. But essentially, just populate from last flight here. I've selected the Zibo airframe. I normally disable this improved climb calculations. We don't need it today. There's no no terrain in our way or anything. And then just hit calculate, and it gives you flaps, takeoff setting, assumed temp, and V speeds, which is what we need. So we are just takeoff 1 today, or, well, no D rate. Assumed temp of 52. We'll put that in takeoff, flaps 5. And then we've got 142, 142, 149. So 142, 142, 149. CG and trim 4.75. Brilliant. Alright. If I lost a feel like moving my cam in water, my inputs feel delayed. Maybe it's a setting. It depends on your base FPS. If your base FPS is low, you'll have more latency. So when I enable it now, there's a very, I can feel a very slight touch of latency. A very slight touch of latency. But it's so minor that I'm not really bothered. You have to type those. Type what? The V speeds? I know it could have just auto-filled, but I was pulling them from SimBrief. That's why, if that's what you meant. For the V speeds. See here, it's saying 140, 142, 146, and I think that'd work just fine. It's just I'm using SimBrief calculated V speeds today, hence why I typed him in. But either way, it does work. So, don't need that anymore. And we can put this on legs. We got performance here. APU is on the gen as well. Trim, yaw damper, fuel pumps. I don't think we have anything in the center pumps, which we don't. Everything else looks good. Do some tests here. All right. Lovely. Nope. While we're upside down. And then we'll do some fire tests. Should have done these earlier probably, but I need to get that audio checklist that we were talking about yesterday, Alex, on Q8 stream. I need to go ahead and re-download that. Alright, so we should be pretty much good to go, I think. Let's get our V speed in here. So 149 for V2. And 7,000 runway heading is 100. Or thereabouts. So we'll just put that there. That looks good to me. Flight directors, auto throttle, VNav, LNav is armed, auto brake RTO, and I think we're pretty much good to go. So let's do this. They're done, as you can see, and so we can disconnect the GPU, remove the shocks, and I believe all the doors are closed, which they are. And you can confirm that up here as well. Yeah, audio checklist is perfect when flying the Zibo, and Alex has linked it. Thank you, Alex. I'll get that downloaded. Yeah, it's perfect, Thomas. It really is perfect for flying the Zibo. I just didn't. I've not re-downloaded it on this new PC, unfortunately. So, all right, let's get pushback clearance then. So, I'll be on ground frequency. I think we are, right? Ground was, yeah, 13079. All right. Dublin ground, CUDA 818, stand 316, request push and start. I forgot to call better pushback.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Alright, same intention didn't hear me for some reason, so I'll ask him again. Dublin ground, CUDA 818, stand 316, request push and start. Could have been the button on my yoke not working.
CUDA 818, push and start approved, face southwest.
Push and start approved, face southwest, CUDA 818. Alrighty. So, face southwest. Alright, so that's on Sierra. Lovely. Very nice. We've got an Aer Lingus A320 there. It's a beautiful Dublin by Boundless.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
And Birmingham, when we get there, is from Boundless as well. Just make the best sceneries. Really, really good stuff. There will be links if you put exclamation ARR or exclamation DEP for the arrival and departure room. Airport links. But yeah, and I think Boundless Dublin is one of the best as well, I think, to be fair, from Boundless. Dublin, Faro, Stansted, some of their best work. Alright. I'm just gonna hit request again.
Please show me where you want to go.
So let's do something like this. That should work.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And we'll click clean here, so we shouldn't have anything around us. Logo light can go on, anti-collision light can go on. We're on APU. Window heats can go on as well. On the APU gen. Alright. Let's release the parking brake.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Alright. So, engine start then. We'll get rid of the packs. And we'll start engine number 2 first. And we can watch the N2 rise here. 22%. We'll put the fuel in. Hey, Eagle 1, welcome. And Heart Experience, welcome. Alright, 22%. There it is. We'll just get the fuel in. And when this red marker disappears, as my understanding is that will basically indicate that the engine is stable after the start, and then we can go ahead and start engine number 1.
Right, 6 Whiskey Kilo, request pushing start, please.
And if you're wondering, the chatter, as you can hear in the background there, is from Saint Engines as well. So that's a real person talking there, someone who has used the Saint Engine network. They might be live. So they might be talking to Dublin ground right now, or that could have been from a few hours in the past and it's playing the recording. Really cool feature, adds a bit of life to the sim. But we've got a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and start number 1. Same procedure. At 22%, we'll get the fuel in. There it goes. So I'm getting less errors on my stream software now, so I'm hoping this is smoother and looking good for you guys than it was yesterday. Hope we don't have any issues on your end. Do let me know. And good start on engine number 2 as well, so, or number 1 even. So we'll put those on the gens. APU can go off, bleed can go off, and we'll get the packs on, and probe heats can also go on. Oh really, the flooded engine procedure. Wow, that's
Operation
beautiful.
complete. Set parking brake.
We need to do some failures is what we need to do in this.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
But yeah, I think I need to go and watch another Flight Deck 2 Sim stream, because he is pretty much where I've learnt the 737. So I need to go ahead and take another look and see how he does things on there. Should be above 25, right? I see. So I am adding it too early. Thank you very much. That is Traffic Global indeed. Yes, this is all Traffic Global. You can see here. The airport from Boundless does come with static aircraft version. So they have some aircraft statically placed, and they have a no static option as well. So of course I'm using the no static option at the minute because I am using Traffic Global. So they're going to disconnect, and we're pretty much ready for the taxi.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, we're going to get our taxi clearance here. Taxi clearance at Dublin is always a bit strange from Saint Engines, so let's see what they give us. You want to know what's ridiculous as model? The IRS drift you get on long flights is Model 9 Zibo. Really? That is incredibly cool. I did not know that. I need to take a look at some of the patch notes, you know, because I've not kept up to date with the new Zibo stuff. But that's incredible. IRS drift. We've been studying parts of that at the minute actually for my PPL theory was at uni as well. No other plane in the sim that does that. Yeah, that is seriously amazing. Seriously amazing. Thank you for letting us know, for sure. Alright, so let's get taxi clearance then. We're going down to runway 10 right, so we'll wait for. We don't want to step on someone's toes.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face southwest.
Dublin ground, code 818, request taxi to runway 10 right.
CUDA 818, taxi to runway 10 right via apron 5, link 2, Alpha, cross runway 34, then Sierra, cross runway 28 left at your discretion.
Alright, so taxi to runway 10 right via apron 5, link 2, Alpha, cross runway 34, Sierra, then cross runway 28 left. Code 818. Now, here's the weird thing. I don't know why it's telling us to cross 28 left, because we're not going to cross 28 left. We're going to be here on Sierra. We're not crossing any runway. So there's a couple of weird things there, but basically we're going. So Sierra, this is apron 5. Link 2, if I bring up the chart here, this is link 2. So link 2 is here. And then we're doing Alpha, cross runway 34, and then Sierra all the way down. So pretty much straight and then right. Pretty much. I have a question. Upon loading a flight ready for pushback, says pushback failure, aircraft appears to not have any steerable gear. Also, the RP panel is not present. That was an issue in an old version, Eagle 1. As far as I know. So make sure you have the latest better pushback version. You can update it via Skunkcraft. That's an old aircraft version. So with IRS Rift, I haven't covered it yet in my training. How do you counter it? Are we only driving by a few feet or does it progress? Yeah, I'm not into it too much yet with my training, so I'm not sure I can answer that in a minute. I think, Oliver, in flight, there's not much you can do about it. As far as I know, you just need to be aware of it. And if you need to account for it, then you do so, I believe. But the other thing I'm planning as well, because I am doing some revision for my PPL theory, is doing some sort of streams on that where we'll do a flight maybe slightly longer, and in cruise we'll go over some PPL theory revision stuff, if that sounds interesting to you guys. Get Toby eye tracker going. Hey V Skychat, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Right, there's an aircraft there. I'm not sure where they're going, so I'm going to stop. I'm just going to hold short the runway here. IRS Rift is not encountered in flight in 727 entry, always when parked. Oh, I see. Alright. I can't wait for Say Intentions traffic to come in, because at the minute Say Intentions won't speak to Traffic Global, so you know the aircraft here, like this what is this, a CRJ or something, is doing its own thing. It's going to taxi right into us. It does its own thing, doesn't talk to Say Intention. So right, so this is what, a Lufthansa CRJ. So that wasn't very clever, was it now, Mr. CRJ? We are just going to ignore your existence with our mighty 737 and continue taxiing, because there's not much we can do about that one. Yeah, he's got to check it's a walking 737 manual. Right, so this is Sierra, and now we're pretty much taxi all the way down. So, by the way, look at the lighting. Just beautiful at dusk. So we're going to get weather on, and I'm going to get terrain on the first officer's display. There we are. Beautiful, look at that. Yeah, I'm sure Beyond ATC is decent. I've not tried it, but I've heard decent things. Now it's got the LLM integration and traffic. The main drawback with that is, of course, it doesn't work with XP12. So Say Intentions are perfect for me because I, fly on both sims, mostly on X-Plane, but I do fly a little bit on Microsoft Flight Sim as well. So Say Intentions just working for both is perfect for me. But I suspect if you're, Microsoft Flight Sim only, then Beyond ATC is a very good choice as well. Although I've not tried it myself. In the Zibo mod, the IRS drift is around 0.6 nautical miles for a 4-hour flight, so it's not that problematic. Oh yeah, that's, minimal for 0.6 miles is nothing really, is it? In the grand scheme of things. Oh, I see pilot sub, okay. Yeah, is X-Plane compatibility planned at the minute? As far as I know, it's not planned. I've not seen anything about that, but if it is, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really loving Say Intentions at the minute. And yeah, they're bringing out new updates constantly, the new features. It's almost difficult to keep track, There was about 2 or 3 weeks where I was away from the sim because I was busy with uni work and exams and courseworks and all sorts of stuff, and I came back and Say Intentions had like 5 major updates. Like I say, they remind me very much of Navigraph in the sense that they just bring in new features constantly, listening to the community. The community engagement is fantastic as well. Yeah, they're very much alike in that sense. What do you study at uni? So I've actually now finished, but I just finished my 3-year degree in Aerospace Systems Engineering. So yeah, just finished that. And now my focus is getting a job, and then finishing all my flight training and hopefully being in a flight deck such as this one day, hopefully. I see you sometimes doing long haul during the day. Do you set up and then go and study and land in the evening? Yes, exactly. Yeah, when I was studying, I like to set up for a long haul. And then study for the 8, 9, 10 hours or whatever it is for that long haul, and then I'll land later on. It's quite nice. It makes studying enjoyable because it feels like once I land from the long haul, I've done 2 things. I've got my simming out the way, and I've got my studying out the way as well. So I'm in first year Aerospace Engineering. Oh, nice, brilliant. Yeah, great course, very enjoyable, definitely very difficult, but it's a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Oliver. Next chapter, closer. Yeah, closer to the final goal, exactly. Yes, absolutely. Can you directly apply to an airline with your degree, or do you have to get an ATPL? I still have to get an ATPL. The degree...
Contact tower on 128.8. Have a good evening.
Tower on 128.8, crude 818. Alright, so we're going to stop at the hold short, and then at this line here, then we'll get configured and contact tower. Yeah, you still need an ATPL. The degree doesn't really, in theory, doesn't mean a whole lot to the airline. For me, it was sort of, I was very interested in engineering, but it was also a bit of a backup. As an airline pilot, you lose your medical, and that's it. What do? You can't fly. So yeah, for me it was a sort of a backup. Gave me a few years to save up a little bit more and figure out for sure what I want to do. Right, 128.8.
Shamrock 715. Push and start approved. Face southwest.
And we'll get that departure frequency in now so we can easily switch over once we're in flight. Right. So, Dublin Tower, Cuda 818, holding short runway 10 right at Sierra 7, fully ready.
Cuda 818, Dublin Tower, runway 10 right, winds 130 at 8, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 10 right, Cuda 818. So there's an ATR on short final, so I know we just got clearance, but I am going to wait. There he is. That's the only thing. It's a little bit, there's a desync there, but I can't complain. Not as far as I know. Yeah, absolutely. Pilot Seb, yeah, I agree. Exactly, Caleb, yeah. Hey, HG Sim, welcome. Glad to have you here, my friend. Actually, Alex, on Reddit, I've seen so many new people coming either to X-Plane from Microsoft Flight Sim just as, newbies, or actually coming back, being, oh, I had X-Plane back in X-Plane 11 days, I switched to Microsoft Flight Sim for a few years, but now I'm back to X-Plane. So yeah, 12.2 has brought a lot of people back, which is fantastic. Tarek, I'm using Saint Tensions today for ATC. V-Sky chat, yes, that's airport enhancement package, and Alex has beat me to it. Alex has put the the link there. Thank you, Alex. So, landing lights then, strobes, and TCAS, TARA. I think we're good to go. Little config check. No oh, flaps. That's why we do a config check. Right. Yeah, a couple of things need fixing with the scenery from Boundless. Just a few things. But the lighting looks super good right now. Alright. Config check, and that's fine. It did flash for a second, but that's just because my flaps is on an axis, so if it's not sat at the exact right position, it'll complain, but we'll be fine. Quick last check. I think we're good to go. So, that aircraft is not on the runway anymore. Brilliant. So, we'll spool them up 40%. And Toga. We can ignore those warnings. It's just because my lever isn't in the correct place. That's all.
$80 knots.
80 knots. And rotate. There's the dead band.
Positive rate.
Beautiful. Positive rate, gear up. Let's go for a flyby. Oh yes, this aircraft. Hand flying is so fun.
1,000.
There's Dublin off to our right.
Contact departure on 119.5.
Wow, okay. What happened there? Interesting. Anyway. Contact departure 119.555, crude 818. Right. Let's get departure on. Dublin departures, CUDA 818, climbing through altitude 2,300 for 4,000. Correction for 7,000, CUDA 818. Alright, we'll go flaps 1.
CUDA 818, Dublin departure identified, clear direct D553.
Clear direct D553, CUDA 818. Where's that? Is that where we're headed now? It is. Alright. Get the autopilot on. Oh, right. Yeah, the hardware, that warning to the hardware noise, absolutely, yeah. I think I can... In the hard... Is it here? I've set the flap detents. Yeah, anyway. Not too much of an issue, and we'll go flaps up now. And we'll put the gear into the off position. Alright, I see auto throttle noise in Zibo EFB. At least 6 or 7. You said... Oh, okay. Where is that? Yeah, ATC, I don't know what happened there. Hey, shipped up, welcome. Brilliant. Came right for the say intention stroke. Yeah, it does that at times. It does that at times, but it doesn't happen too often. I don't know, maybe 5%, maybe less of the time. Once a flight will do something weird like that. All throttle noises and systems.
To
go. Hardware? Throttle, is it this one? Throttle lock noise? Throttle noise lock. 1,000 to go. We do have a restriction.
CUDA 818, climb flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, CUDA 818. Alright. They couldn't have given that as slightly earlier. 210.
CUDA 818, descend flight level 210.
Yes, yes. Climb flight level 210, CUDA 818. Set 6 or 7. Let's go 7. We'll see how that works. This lighting is so nice. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Alright, off we go to Dublin. Next time on takeoff, that warning will disappear. Brilliant, thank you. I forgot to set chrono. Oh well. Whoops. We can get the landing lights off and the runway turn off lights off, and we can get the engine starts back to off. Now. Nice, alright. Always love flying the Zibo. For those of you who followed the A Pilot's Life series that I had started last year, I actually recently reset, good idea Thomas, yes I should do that. There it is. I reset my career on there, so we are starting from scratch, and I just signed from with Jet 2, so we are flying the 737 for Jet 2 in that series. So we'll get videos on that coming very soon. Of course, with the 737, we'll be mostly using the Zibo. I need to test the level up. I've not flown it yet. If that's in a decent enough state, then I'll fly that as well, maybe. But majority of the time I'll be on the Zibo and the PMDG occasionally as well in Microsoft Flight Sim. Yes. Skymatics has a fantastic guide. Absolutely. I think I did have a look. I did have a look through it when I set this up. So it's sort of partially set up, but I think some stuff changed from update to update. So it might be worth. I might have to go through that again. But yeah, Alex, you are correct. And if you want, you can stick a link to that because it's very, very useful. Nice. So something else I want to be checking out fairly soon as well is Chase Plane. That just came out for Microsoft Flight Sim. Overhauls the camera system because well, the camera system in Microsoft Flight Sim is pretty horrible, especially in 2024. I don't like it at all. Never have. X-Plane camera system is far superior in my opinion, but Chase Plane simplifies things a little bit, adds some really cool new features for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and later on 2024, so I do want to check that out. That's an EFB guide. Oh, I see. Okay, got you. Got you. Do you have any airline in mind you want to pursue after your PPL? To be honest, at this point, I would fly for anyone. I'll fly anything. But, you know, BA would be nice. You know, the flag carrier of the UK, Jet 2. I've flown with Jet 2 a lot in real life. I'll say a lot, a few times. They're really cool as well. So, yeah, I don't really have a preference. You can't really be too picky, you know. But, yeah, there's a few airlines I have in mind. Of course, Aer Lingus is up there as well, definitely. I'd love to go somewhere with a diverse fleet of aircraft, you know, so that's why I mentioned BA. So many different aircraft, so many options.
Contact London Control on 133.6.
London Control 133.6, Crew Day 18. Right, let's switch over. But yeah, I want to go somewhere with a diverse fleet, ideally. Because I like flying all sorts, so... London Control, Crew Day 818, climbing through flight level 178 for flight level 210.
Crew Day 18, London Control, identified. Good evening.
Brilliant. So we're now talking to London Control, and we will be for the rest of our flight until we get to Birmingham. Thank you, Alex, for posting those links. Much appreciated. Can't wait for my new monitor to arrive. We'll definitely be flying a lot for the coming days. Ah, yes, the new OLED. Yeah, you'll have to let us know how you find that. Same situation. I've been looking at flying corporate jets recently and becoming a pilot in that sector. Airline is still the main goal. Yeah, you know, a lot of people limit themselves to airlines, right? But like I said, I'll fly anything. So I don't mind going corporate. I wouldn't even mind flying a PC-12 or, you know, a smaller biz jet or something, a turboprop, King Airs, because they're all fun. You know, I think something I found because of simming is I really have an appreciation for a wide, you know, variety of aircraft, whether it's Airbus, Boeing, Embraer, Piper, Cessna, you know, whatever it is. There's just so many aircraft I'd love to fly in real life. So yeah, I think I'd be happy flying anything, to be honest. I'm happy flying the 152 for training. It's just I can't make money off that one, so. Yeah, exactly, Oliver. I absolutely agree. As long as I'm flying, I'm happy. Yep. King Air's pretty cool. Yeah, I love the King Air. I had the Air 4 Labs in X-Plane 11. I still need to upgrade my that to X-Plane 12.
Expect the AMP-1 Bravo arrival. Anticipate descent in about 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our cruising altitude.
Expect the MP-1 Bravo arrival. Anticipate descent in about 5 minutes. Crew Day 18. Alright, so short flight. Yeah, I've seen Alex. I've seen Q8 fly a lot. the Air 4 Lab. So that's probably my next one to get. And yeah, it's so good. I've got the Air 4 Labs 172. And that is just Air4 Labs are doing fantastic stuff. And of course they have their 737 MAX coming soon as well, which I absolutely cannot wait for. That's going to be so cool as well. Flying the BN2 Islander from British Airways Express must be so cool in the north of Great Britain, landing on the beaches. Yeah, that must be so cool. For sure, there's so many interesting aircraft to fly, you know. C90B Evo is probably the best GA freeware. I've heard of that. And I've seen Vlad, another XP12 content creator, fly it. And that's something I do want to look at as well, actually. Yeah, they released some pictures of the 737 MAX and it looks so good. It really, really does. Yeah, Caleb, the 172 is so cool. I reviewed it and for the X-Plane store last year, and you know, I fly a Cessna 152, so it's different to the 172, but it's not all that different. You know, it's fairly similar, and some of the features are just outstanding. It really, really is. And you know, if you're a training student, if you're flying the 172 especially, that is a no-brainer purchase in my opinion, to really help with training. I'd love to see an Air4 Labs 152. That'd be so cool. Caleb, I won't be surprised. That Max is going to be concerned if Air4 Labs keep up the standard they have on the GA planes. I know GA, you know, there's less to do. There's simpler aircraft, but you know, if they can keep that standard for the 737 MAX, it will be, you know, really up there for airliners, at least in my opinion. This is now Wales, and not far away, if I show you guys here, is here, EGBB RF Valley, where there's a lot of training and jet training is done out of there. I think it's down there somewhere. Yeah, Valley's around here. Mac Loop is just slightly further on. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. This new lighting is just incredible. The 350 is weird. You would think it's just a 2-engine prop thingy, but it's actually a very capable plane that cruises at flight level 270. Yeah, those turboprops are insane. You know, I got the Aerobasque Epic E1000, which is just a single-engine turboprop, but the performance is crazy. You know, the ceilings are so high for those things. You know, the engineering is superb behind it. And I love doing that recently, actually. You know, I'm flying an aircraft in X-Plane, and you know, because of the engineering degree and stuff, I'll go and look at all the nitty-gritty details of the aircraft from an engineering perspective, and yeah, I love doing stuff like that. I do hope Flight Factor keeps their maintenance stuff for future products. I know some people don't like it, but it's very easy to turn off. Same with talking to the Purser Grand Prix. Yeah, you know, I don't really use the maintenance aspect. I use the Purser Grand Prix aspect, but what I like about how Flight Factor implemented that is, like you say, it's customizable. You can turn it on or off. So I have it set up exactly how I want it set up, and other people will have it set up how they want it. So I think it's very good in that regard. I want to use it to do a South USA to Europe trip. That sounds cool. That sounds very cool. I really want to do some Atlantic crossings in some GA aircraft. You know, like heading up to, let's get Navigraph. You can head up to, from the UK. Is it this airport? Yeah, Stornoway. There's a few airports up here where you can depart, and then you can head to Reykjavik. So I don't think they go to the main airport. I think they go to this one normally. And then from there you can head over to Greenland, and then down to, you know, northern Canada, and then you're into the US. And that is a treacherous trip to do in a GA aircraft, but a lot of fun as well. Challenger 650 is a good study level aircraft. You can learn a lot with it. Yeah, that's one I need to get as well. Absolutely. That is one to get. Might have just been tempted to fly a BOAC with a 747, such an iconic moment in aviation. Oh, that livery is just beautiful. I love it so much. Yeah, that'd be fun, Alex. That sounds like good fun, for sure. And it shouldn't be too bad in the 350, actually. You've got the range, you've got the speed. Shouldn't be too bad in that. I've seen videos of people doing it in real life in like an SR22 or DA40 or something, and that's scary. Scary, but a lot of fun. Yeah, that definitely sounds like fun. Absolutely. Beautiful. Lovely. Let's get some better lighting in here. Alright, there we are. Looks very, very good indeed. Are we getting icing? Window heats are on. Right, we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if that's just the textures and I've not noticed it before, or whether they're slowly creeping up on us. I think you got some. Yeah, yeah. It does look like it, right? But I have window heater on. The probe heats are on.
Tudor 818, cleared Ampy 1 Bravo, arrival into Birmingham.
Cleared Ampy 1 Bravo, arrival into Birmingham, Cuda 818.
Tudor 818, Ampy 1 Bravo, arrival into Birmingham, confirmed.
Alright. No, that's normal. Okay, right. You don't get icing cruise unless it rains. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be getting... It would have been weird if we got icing at this flight level, to be honest. Alright, well I hope the stream is smoother for you guys, and I hope the quality is good. Like I said, I played around with some settings and bit rates and stuff. So it seems to be a lot better, at least on my end. Yeah, only 0.9% of frames have been dropped at the minute, which is much better than yesterday. But motion and damp on front windows is normal, yeah. Alright, perfect. Thank you very much, Krista. Stream is a lot smoother. No stutters. Brilliant. I'm very glad. $4K to $2K. Oh, I expect you'll get a nice boost for sure. Right, so we're descending soon, and we were cleared for the arrival, so we can descend whenever we need to. The first restriction here is knocking 200 and then 090. So what we'll do is we'll put 200 in for now. You can see top of descent point there. 4K kills FPS, it does, yeah. Why? And then we need to do landing performance. So runway 15, wind 170 at 3.
Descend flight level 090.
Was that for me? It was not. Oh, they did say descend flight level 090. Descend flight level 090, CUDA 818. I missed that. They told us to descend. Your frames are still limited to 24, Caleb? That's very strange. Very strange. 38-inch curved 4K screen. Wow. I've got 27-inch curved, but I'm just 1080p. It's 165 hertz, so it's very smooth. I don't want to upgrade to 1440 yet because I'm really struggling for VRAM. So until I get a better graphic card, I'll stick to 1080 for now, I think. Auto brake 2 should do. Let's see what we get. And our landing weight is going to be 65 tons. So 2 should do. That should work pretty well, I reckon. No. I can't change the reverser though for some reason, so that'll be fine. We are now descending. Having 3 screens on one card does not help either. Do you have X-Plane on all 3 screens, or do you just have X-Plane on one and then using your second and third monitor for other stuff? I do have a second monitor at the minute as well. Lowered my hertz a bit so I can match my FPS better. Used to run 165. Yeah, yeah. 165 is will never be used in X-Plane, to be fair. It's nice for games and general use. So okay, yeah, got you. Yeah, I did notice a slight, of course, increase in usage now that I've got a second monitor. So yeah, GPU upgrade is what I'm looking for at the minute, really. So 38-inch and then 2 27-inch 2K screens next to it. That's a brilliant setup. Really nice. Went to the new mall which opened in Hamburg. Pretty surprised to see a full DC3 engine together to prop in a clothing store. Wow, really? Clothing stores have the most random stuff ever. Amount of stuff I've just walked into a clothing store. There's been a random aircraft engine, a random car engine, or a random spoiler from some sort of racing car, like constantly. That's pretty cool. Yeah, once you have multiple monitors, it's very hard to go back. Alrighty, local QNH at Birmingham is 1023, so I'm going to get that preset. So that's preset, we won't switch to it yet. We're a little bit high, so let's get a little bit of speed brake. Not bad weather right now.
CUDA 18, contact Birmingham approach on 123.9 at 8.
Birmingham approach on 123.9 at 8, CUDA 818. Alright, next frequency. 128.9 at 8. Birmingham approach, good evening, CUDA 818. Inbound on the MP1 Bravo arrival, descending through flight level 140 for flight level 090.
CUDA 818, expect the ILS runway 15 approach into Birmingham.
Expect the ILS runway 15 approach, CUDA 818. Brilliant, so the MP1 Bravo is what we already have, and the ILS is what we already have, so we are nice and set up. Let's get the ILS frequency in. I always forget this on the 737 because I'm so used to flying aircraft which have it already done. So ILS frequency is 110.1. So we'll get that in there. We'll change this to ILS. 1101. So both ILSs are done. And course is 146.
Cruise 818, descend altitude 3500. Turn right heading 155, vectors for the ILS runway. 15 approach.
Descend altitude 3500, turn right heading 155, vectors for the ILS 15, CUDA 818. Alright, so 155, and we're going to be off the lateral profile. So what we'll do is let's do vertical speed, and that should work out pretty well for us. Lights can come on, and now that we're getting below you know, 10,000, we'll get these lights off. There we are. And VREF 148, that works perfectly fine. Alright. Is there an option to increase the amount of traffic on frequency? Yes, there is. I've currently got it set it on half. And if you put it on full, it's like constant, non-stop.
15, descend altitude 2500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway, 15 approach.
Proceed direct CF15, descend altitude 2500 till established on the localizer. Cleared ILS 15 approach, CUDA 818. Right, they've left us slightly high here to go direct, but let's see what happens. If not, we can always go, well, to level change. And then we're going down to 2,500. Oh, no, level change, LNAV. Actually, no, we'll go back to VNAV. And we'll just redraw that. Alright, so let's see if we can make it. Tower frequency is 118305. Let's see if we can get that preset. Alright. Did you set the courses correct? 146. I need to on both sides. There we are. Yep. Yeah, so if you set the ATC, the chatter to full, in London especially, it's like non-stop. So I've got it on half. I know it's maybe not as realistic, but it's a little bit nicer. Otherwise it could get a little bit annoying on stream. We might request an orbit here. Let me just add a fix real quick. How do you do runways in the Zibo? Is it RWY? Nope. Is FA able to do course and control MCP? Not with set intentions, no. RW. Not in database. RW15. EGBB RW15. It doesn't let me do it. Oh, just the RW. Ah, thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Alright, yeah, let's request a left orbit here. Birmingham approach, CUDA 818, request a right orbit. I said left orbit and then told ATC a right orbit. No idea why. But we'll orbit here to descend.
CUDA 818, proceed direct, CF15, descend altitude 2500 until established on the localizer.
Oh.
Cleared for the ILS runway 15 approach. CUDA 8.
Birmingham approach, request right orbit. You ought to speak very clear.
CUDA 818, approved, make right orbit.
Alright, we got a right orbit. Approved right orbit, CUDA 818. Alright, so, yeah, they left us a bit high there. ATC did. But look at those lights. Beautiful. Did you know that actually it's a cheat if you mess up? VREF landing speed in 737 NG just use VREF plus 40, same as when you took off. Ah, nice. Setting fixed to 326.10 is getting you better awareness. 326 being the opposite track, right? From 146. Yes, I see. Alright, shall we? Let's do that. Thank you. See, always learning. So that gives me the line there. Nice. Alright, let's continue the orbit all the way around. I wonder how do they perform orbits in real life? I'm gonna stow the speed brakes now and just arm it. Because as far as I know, there isn't a way to do it in the FMC. So at the minute I just kind of use heading. But whether that's correct or not, I don't know. Hey Nikki, welcome. How's it going? Hey Schwan, welcome.
2500.
This is what I love about streaming as well. You learn so much from you guys as well. I think they use a hold as well to go down. Yeah, sometimes I use a hold. It depends how close I am to the airport. So I don't know. At least my understanding is because we're pretty much final approach here. On orbit is more is better. If we were further out, maybe we'd use... Why are we... Well, good job we caught that. I guess LNAV has just gone no. Or VNAV even. Alright. Well, we caught that one. We're okay for now. Right, flaps 1, and we're going to approach mode. Jeez, I'm making a mess of this approach, aren't I? We should be on QNH. Whoops. So we're going to intercept. Alright.
818, contact Birmingham Tower on 118.305.
Birmingham Tower 118.305, CUDA 818. Alright, let's fix this approach here. Alright, I think we're getting back on track here a little bit. Let's go gear down and flaps 15. Okay. Birmingham Tower, CUDA 818 established on the localizer for runway 15.
CUDA 818, wind 165 at 3, runway 15, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 15. Okay. We're slightly off the localizer a little bit here. It did this when I landed at Faro as well, but I think it's just about sorting itself out here. And we'll go final approach speed then. On the 48. Flaps 25. Thank you about Sangela regarding the light mod. Right. My throttles. They should be. Come on. Give me the throttles.
1 Tango Bravo, welcome to Birmingham. Contact ground on 121.805.
There we are. My throttles. And flaps 30. Alright.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
I was going to use a HUD, but I totally forgot. Right, so we made a mess of the approach, but I think we kind of saved it there. We're looking okay now. We didn't set minimums.
500.
We forgot that. Stable approach is saying my speed brakes aren't armed for some reason. They most definitely are armed. A little bit fast, but that's fine.
300.
Exec jet 2064, contact departure on 123.908.
200.
Departure 123.908, exec jet 2064.
100.
Tower, 36
50,
Romeo
40,
Bravo, with
30,
call.
20,
Ready to cut
10.
the IFR clearance to Biggin Hill.
Come on. Get it down. There it is. Reverses. Flight and us were down. Oof.
Attention all aircraft, prepare now, current QNH 1023.
80 knots.
New ATIS, I guess.
CUDA 818, welcome to Birmingham. Contact ground on 121.805.
Alright, we can take Charlie here. Frequency was 121.805, I believe. Yes, it was. Ground on 121.805, Q 818. Alright. Flaps up, speed brakes up.
Time is 8:27 in the evening, and the weather is quite lovely with a temperature of 7 degrees Celsius and scattered clouds. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final path station and the seatbelt
121.805.
sign is turned off. Did you know that Birmingham is known for its network of canals, which is even longer
Birmingham ground, Q 818 vacated runway 15 via Charlie.
than culture?
Alright.
On behalf of Captain Drishal, First Officer Murph, and the entire crew, Siobhan, Declan, Aoife, Liam, and myself, Caroline,
CUDA
we'd like to
818,
thank you
Birmingham
for
ground,
flying with CUDA
taxi to
Airlines.
Terminal
We hope to see you
59er
again
via
soon.
Charlie Delta
Goodbye
Victor.
and take care.
Good day.
Excuse me, did that say Terminal 59? It did. I'll show you guys. Terminal 59 via Charlie Delta Victor. Well, I think it meant stand 59 is what it meant. Interesting. Yes, VSCAR check. I am using my light mod, my own personal light mod, as well for this night lighting. APU is starting. Strobes off.
Good morning, Blue Max 2, November X-ray, request IFR.
TCAS. Right, we're taking the second left here.
While I grab the paperwork.
Information uniform cleared to Derry via the Luave 1 departure. Departure on
Right.
133.
See Emirates 777 there.
Max 2, November X-ray.
Thank you very, very much, Alex. Really, really appreciate that. My light mod will be getting an update this week as well. It's not as bright as it used to be in older X-Plane versions, so I need to tweak it a little bit. It still works for the most part. Just needs a little bit of tweaking to get it looking sort of, you know, like it did before. Got a little hectic on arrival there. Usually on landing, some airlines require you to set a radial of the runway heading to have the extended center line. Then it's down to pilots for distant rings. I got you. Yeah. It did get a bit hectic. And what I need to do is, I know a few 737 pilots, so I'm going to ask them some of these questions. I know a lot of it is airline SOPs, but yeah. So I do want to get myself flying this a little bit more realistic. But oh, it's so much fun to fly and land. We'll take a look at the replay, of course. I'm not sure the APU is starting.
Alpha November, Romeo 67, Birmingham ground. Good afternoon, APU start approved. Information Juliet is current.
Right. Where should we? It wanted stand 59. Right, so 5-9 is near the end, okay.
Alpha Bravo, November Romeo 67, requesting APU start.
Flight directors can go off. Someone is requesting APU start on frequency. Alright. That was a lot of fun. There it is, yeah, now it's gone. Lovely. Stand 59 might be taken. I think. So yeah, this is stand 59. So we'll just go in one of these. It doesn't matter all that much. We'll go in this one. Got the SAM integration. SAM and Auto DGS both got an update a while ago, which I didn't realize, so I've got them updated now using Skunkcraft, and having them together just means you always have you know, a marshaller or a VDGS system. So we actually have a marshaller and a VDGS system at the minute, and I know why that is as well, because Auto DGS is running the marshaller and I've got SAM for open SAM for the DGS, so I just need to tell Auto DGS that I don't want it running on this airport. But anyway, I'm going to go by the VDGS because that's integrated into the airport. So alright, we'll stop there and get on the APUs. The bleed, oh no, the bleeds can go on and we'll kill the engines. Alright, can highly recommend to read a Zibo AFB guide and install guide. Basically you can configure it like a gamer's version or like a study level version if you like. Yes, I think I am going to have another look through that and get it set up again, to be fair. Drishal, can DM me after the stream with a few procedures I've learned from the community and a few real world airline pilots. Yes please, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate that. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So stable approach here, I love stable approach, really nice bit of software. So it didn't think my speed brake was on, but it was. We had the, you know, green light here, but we can see here touchdown 110 feet per minute, 1.25 Gs, not too bad at all. Gives you a load of different. Look at all this. There's so much data, and it remembers as well. So I can go back to my landing earlier today. Oh, it disappeared. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's get this dome light on because this flashing is annoying. Just from that jetway. Alright, so let's take a look at the replay of the flight then. Let's take a look at this landing. Wasn't too bad. It's a little bit of a floater, but can't complain. Another reason why I just love X-Plane, because the super easy replay system that we have. Exactly, Eagle One. Yes, absolutely. Even I was disappointed with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024's replay system. It's just not particularly good, is it? And if you forget to record, then that's it. You know, whereas this, you don't even need to worry about it until you need it. But it was broken for a long time. Although I never had issues. Funnily enough, it's been pretty good for me, other than it, you know, tends to stutter and stuff. But anyway, let's take a look. It might stutter a little bit. Replays do tend to stutter, but we'll do our best to. Lots of stutters. turn off lossless scaling so we can help with the stutters slightly. Let's take a look at a few more angles. It was definitely a floaty one, that's for sure. There it is. Look at the wing flex. Beautiful. Yeah, I overflared that one for sure. You can see here it was quite a abrupt flare. If you watch the flare, it's very very aggressive, which was definitely one of the issues there. Well, it didn't look too bad there actually, to be fair, but can't complain about that. We were in the touchdown zone. It was smooth. It was safe. I just wish we had less stuttering in the replay. Not too far off center line either. We kind of ended up floating onto the center line. Yeah. Hey Dave, welcome. Yeah, those reflections are incredible. I do really like the reflections. Just beautiful. Do we have a tower view? We do. Look at this. This is one of the reasons I'm actually really looking forward to chase playing in Microsoft Flight Sim, because this stuff is sort of pre-set up. In Microsoft Flight Sim in its current state, it's very difficult to just press a button and you get a tower view, you know, just like that. Chase plane sort of fixes that slightly, as far as I'm aware. But anyway, let's take a look at this. Beautiful, beautiful city. Flown out of Birmingham plenty of times in real life. Not a bad airport. The wing flex is just beautiful. You really see the wings, you know, the lift deloading from there. And last one, we'll do a bit of a wing view, I think. See the city off in the distance there. I love the lighting on the ground as well as we get closer to the runway. Look at that. I did. I wanted to wheelie to the end of the runway. Yeah, look at that. Super, super cool. I'll tell you, one thing I really love about the Zibo is the sounds are just amazing. But, you know, if you sit in a 737 in real life, you will notice every single little sound and you go, oh, I recognize that from the Zibo. It's so strange how similar the sounds are. It always surprises me when I fly on the 737 in real life just how accurate these sounds are. It's uncanny. It really is. Some of the best in the sim, you know, and for free, just we are very lucky. We are very, very lucky indeed. Alright, well, that is going to be the end of the stream then. I think it's fair to say that the changes that were made for the stream, you know, the stream settings have worked. That was much smoother. Nicer experience for you guys, so I'm very, very glad. And that means we can go ahead and start looking at some other stuff to stream as well. Absolutely, yeah, Alex. I still maintain that the Zibo is the best 737 out there. hands down. The PMDG is nice, but it doesn't beat it in my opinion. The iFly, I know it's a Max, it's different, but the iFly is very nice, but also doesn't beat this. This is next level. You know, competing with the payware, and in a lot of cases, better than some of the top tier payware we have. It's that good. You know, you forget it's free. You really do. It's very, very good. But yeah, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you to all the moderators and the members and everyone else, of course. We'll be back next week streaming something or another. We do need to do a Denver stream for Xcoder, and then you update, and I think the 737 would be perfect there. We might do a E190. I don't know, on E-Jet. We'll see. But I'm very much in the mood for 737 flying at the minute. So I think we'll do another 737 stream. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do a level up and compare. Who knows? Thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.